So he says, last monthly hangout when I asked about topic authority blog within a geo then services site structure, a really interesting and helpful discussion ensued on your side. However, I didn't quite get clarity on where exactly the topic authority blog should be positioned to pass all that authority juice to the locations page, which is what we typically want ranking and where we want people landing for a business or lead gen site. You had mentioned link sculpting, which is probably more inner circle stuff. So I wanted to ask about the alternative. Should the blog silo page header or footer have links up into each geo page? Each blog post have the links up? Should we instead have spun versions of our authority blog post at the bottom of each geo page with the location ifield? No, you don't want to do that. First of all, you don't want to use spun versions of anything on your money site ever, period. End of story. Google's algorithm, you guys, if you don't understand this, Google has tokenized words, right? So essentially Google can take an article and any one of the synonyms, it just basically creates a token out of each one of the words and all of its synonyms. So synonyms, excuse me. So in other words, if a word has, 6 variations, right? So synonyms, Google will tokenize that down to one word. And so it can basically create a picture out of, a snapshot of the article with all of the synonyms tokenized. So if you spin something with just a regular spinner, then Google can detect that. The algorithm, it does it 100% automatically now. It can detect it very, very quickly because all it does is it turns each version of that spun article into the tokenized version of it. And they all are incredibly similar, if not identical. Does that make sense? So just don't use spun content anymore, guys. There are AI rephrasing tools now that are much, much better. Doesn't mean that, that's not detectable as well, but it's less detectable than just using spun content. Now, spinning content for like link building and stuff like that, that's different. That's, essentially, especially when you're doing a lot of spam links, bulk links, you're going to need to be able to generate content in mass or in bulk. So spinning, that's different. But we also don't recommend using spun content for link building content that's at tier 1 links, right? So in other words, you don't want to spin content that you're going to then place a link within that links back to your money site. You can do that out of tier 2, tier 3 and beyond, but you don't want to do that on your money site or anything that's linking directly to your money site. If you do, you're just asking for trouble or for the links to be discounted entirely. And what's the point of that then? You're just wasting time and effort and money. So again, coming back to that, you don't want to use spun content anywhere on the money site, period. Okay. If you're doing churn and burn stuff, fine, try to get away with it. But if you're trying to create an asset that's going to provide a return over any length of time, then just don't use spun content. Just don't do it. Okay. And the other thing is, what I was talking about, RB, is, optimize a location landing page for the location, right? Plus the services, products or services, whatever. But what I was talking about is I like to do long form landing page content that has all of the services listed on that. It could be behind accordions, tabbed content, accordion menus, whatever you want to do. But I like to use long form landing page content so that it's essentially a silo within one page, right? I like to use table of contents. A table of contents inserted at the top of the page that links to at least all of the H2 heading tags on, H2 headings on the page. And sometimes I'll also include H3 headings. And so it creates a hierarchy and in the table of contents. And that's really good for Google for crawling and indexing and all that kind of stuff as well. It just, especially if you know how to stack the content properly. But so I like to optimize for location plus products and services. Right, products or services on that location landing page. But then for the blog, if it's a single location site, then you don't need a location silo because it's it's understood that the entire site should be optimized for one particular location. If you're doing multi-location websites, then what I like to do is a separate location silo for each location. The landing page is optimized for the products or services. But then I create a category for that location, so that city essentially, and then we can publish articles that are specific to that particular location within that silo. But another way to do it, again, if you're talking about a single location website, right? So you could have your products and services, or products or services or whatever optimized on one page that's also optimized for the location. But then you can have supporting articles that you don't necessarily have to optimize for a particular location. They're more they're optimized for the topic, not necessarily for the location, if that makes sense. And you can publish those as supporting articles within that silo, right? And so the way that you internally link from that is you all of your supporting articles, each one of your supporting articles within a particular silo should link back up to the location landing page, the top of silo page. Then you can also interlink to other articles, supporting articles within the same silo. Does that make sense? What you just don't want to link from within a supporting article to another silo if you have multiple silos on the site. Okay, so that's really the whole point. You want to link internally with whatever content you're using as supporting posts within a silo. You can link to other supporting posts within that same silo. You can link up to the location landing or the top of silo page, I should say. That's all fine. What you don't want to do is link out to another page or supporting post within another silo. Now you can do that for user experience. If it makes sense, then you can do that with no follow links. That's what I was talking about with link sculpting, right? Page rank sculpting, there's a number of terms for that, but they all mean basically the same thing, which just means you can direct the internal link flow of the site, whether based upon your internal linking and using, no follow tags. So there's a way to direct where the link juice or link equity is flowing throughout the site by using no follow tags. So that's why I'm saying if you had two silos on the site, you don't want to link from one silo over to the other unless there's a reason to make it easier for users. If it makes sense to link over to there, then you can do it, but no follow it so that you're not bleeding any page rank or internal link equity over to another silo, because that starts to muddy the waters, so to speak. Okay. So again, first and foremost, don't use spun content on your money site. Okay. And these kind of answers are again, this is getting into some pretty technical stuff where, I'm happy to answer this, in the mastermind or something like that, but I'm certainly not going to draw out or diagram out silo structure here on Hump Day Hangouts. So let me just try to finish reading this. Should the blog silo page header or footer have links up into each geo page? Again, for each geo page, it depends on what you're trying to do. Remember, if you've got one GMB, but you're trying to target geo areas, right? So like doing geo posts, like neighborhood posts or, adjacent area posts and things like that. Well, then those should be posts that are optimized for each individual location or each location that you're trying to create relevance to the Google business location. So that's why I say make the location landing page a silo. And then you can publish supporting posts targeting, adjacent areas, for example, or neighborhoods and districts within the service area of the Google business profile. And you can have all of those as like supporting geo posts within that silo. And so they would be linking up to the primary website, or excuse me, the top of silo page. Hey, Adam, if you can jump into the SM short link site and pull the local prominence plugin.
Yeah, sure thing.
Link and drop that. And once you do, let me know, because I'll go down and click on it because I want to demonstrate something here for Arby and for everyone else for that matter.
Cool. What was the name again?
It's local prominence. You could also search WP Amplify, I think, and it'll pop.
It is on the page. I'm probably going to miss. Yeah, I'm just going to put the link on there.
Just paste it. Okay.
Is that right?
All right, guys, the link is in the chat box. Check this out. All right. Arby, this might help to explain better than I can do during a Hump Day Hangouts, right? Which is supposed to be conceptual, not like getting into the technical nitty gritty. But go check out click the link below. If you're interested in purchasing this plugin, it's great. It will automate a lot of this stuff for you, Arby, and anybody else that's listening. But the point that I'm trying to make here is just scroll down to the bottom of the page. And in fact, I thought the training was in there, but let's go. Let's click into the actual plugin page first. Hold on. Looks like they're might not even be able to purchase it now. But even if you can't, it's all right. Yeah, you can. It's just they don't have the deal going on anymore. Anyway, come down here and take a look at these videos. Let's see. I think there's some more down at the very bottom. Yes. Okay. So right here are 3 videos. This is the one that I would take a look at these two, Arby. So again, just click the link that we just shared, that Adam just shared in the chat box or whatever. And then click through to the local prominence plugins. So that's plugins, local prominence, and then take a look at these 2 videos. This will hopefully give you kind of an idea of what I'm talking about, right? When it comes to whatever page it is that you're trying to rank, when you're trying to create geo pages or geo posts to help support that location that you want to rank for, then you want to create child pages or supporting posts that are optimized for the various areas that fall within the service area of that location. Does that make sense? And then again, those are pages that you would interlink from like one area to the next, to the next, to the next. And they link back up to the location landing page, the top of silo page, right? And that's how you can start to create. Now that's adding location relevance. You still need to do the same thing with topical relevance, right? There's two things that you're trying to accomplish when you're ranking locally, a local type of project. You're trying to accomplish, producing local relevance and producing topical relevance. You got to mix the two. And so I found it easier to optimize the top of silo page, both topically optimize it for the topic and for the location. But then for supporting posts to help achieve the desired results that I want, ranking results for that top of silo page, I do two separate type of posts. I do topical posts, and then I also do separate geo posts that are, again, optimized for specific locations. And I just put all of those posts in the same silo underneath that same category, if that makes sense. And that way you build the topical relevance through the topical posts, obviously, and then the local relevance through the local or the geo post is another term for that. All right, so hopefully that makes sense, guys. Check it out and keep moving. Okay, perhaps the point was the authority blog post ranks in their own and aren't intended to support the local geo ranking. If so, then you could reframe my question to be how best to position those authority posts to support and provide link juice to the locations, since we may be more focused on cash flow now from local ranking than long-term non-local ranking. Yeah, again, I don't try to rank non-locally for these types of things. So I'm not sure I understand where you're going with that part of it, Arby. So forgive me if I'm just not understanding that question. I mean, I try to rank local. What I said was when it comes to optimizing supporting posts for topics, not for geo posts or local posts. But when you're optimizing supporting posts for topics, the way that I do it now is instead of trying to optimize for a topic plus a location modifier, is my content, my blogger who produces the content for me, I'll tell her like, okay, I want an article optimized, a supporting post optimized for tree trimming techniques, for example. And she'll optimize when she runs the tools that, tell like Surfer SEO or outranking or inlinks or phrase or any one of those tools that we use that will tell us like, okay, this is what we need to develop content with this many headings, that's optimized this well and all that. We try to make the content competitive on a national level, even though I don't ever intend on it for it to rank. My intention is not for me to rank a blog post for tree trimming techniques. It's to support the top of silo page. But what I'm saying is we optimize the content to compete on a national level with no intention of us ever trying to rank it on a national level. We just optimize it to compete on a national level because it makes it a much stronger supporting post that way, if that makes sense. So again, I don't know if that was the answer to your question, but it's the best I can do for now. So the next part of it is, here's a multi-pronged question. Oh, Jesus. The Hump Day Hangout tribe might find interesting, but I don't think it crosses into the inner circle knowledge arena. You mentioned Mike Martin's Magic Page plugin, and as I'm looking into a few other page builders, I wonder if you could explain one aspect of theirs. I understand that Magic Page plugin doesn't create every location page immediately. Magic pages are dynamic pages that are only built when someone clicks on the link for that page. That's how I understand it too, Arby. I guess the first question is, why do they create the pages dynamically? I don't know. Honestly, Arby, I don't know, and I don't have enough experience with the plugin, but to really know how everything functions, because I haven't got to that point yet. I've got several site builds that I'm going to apply that to once I've achieved the initial rankings that I want. Then I'll add the Magic Page plugin. So I don't have enough experience with that yet. I apologize. From what I understand, they are dynamically generated pages. However, I know that you can, in one of the more recent Magic Page plugin updates, you can generate the Magic Pages, the location pages essentially, and then you can export them, I think, from the Magic Page plugin and turn them into either pages or posts, which are permanent pages or posts instead of dynamically generated. By default, I know they dynamically generate those pages, but I know that they just within the last 3 or 4 months, they've added a function to once those pages have been, the Magic Page has been kind of generated or created, you can export them as either posts or pages so that they become permanent on the site as opposed to being always dynamically generated. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. I guess the first question is, why do they create pages dynamically? This answer may take care of all the subsequent questions, which are really trying to better understand how the Google bot works. I'm inclined to think it's due to speed and minimizing size of the site. Other mass page tools build, say, 20 locations times 5 service pages on top of the home page, which would be 101 pages. Your more recent preference is 20 location pages each containing the relevant service info content, so 21 pages total. Okay, so you're talking about using long form landing pages as opposed to individual pages for each service. Okay, so that would condense it from with your example from 100 pages to basically 20. 80% less pages. MPP seems to go further with one home page and one dynamic template page. Yes, that's called the Magic Page. How can Google's bots crawl each individual location page to index them and start ranking process? Those pages only come into existence when there is a click. I don't know that. Again, I think the bot counts as a click. Again, I don't understand all that. I'm not a coder. I'm not a programmer. I'm not fully sure how dynamic pages are generated or served. That is just not my area of expertise. These are questions, Arby, that I would encourage you to ask the developers of Magic Page plugin. I'm happy to answer them if I could, but I don't know the answers to a lot of these questions. And I'm quite sure the developers of Magic Page, Mike Martin and Keith Best and the crew over there, which those guys are awesome. I'm sure if you reach out to them, they would be happy to answer those types of questions. Okay, I can't answer them. It's not my product. I'm anxious to use it, but I really don't have enough experience with it yet to be able to answer these intelligently. Okay.